everybody, it's Martin the Flicking Feathers again today. I'm tying this pike fly, a version of it. I posted it on social media a few days ago and quite a positive response. Quite a few people were asking me about it. Basically it's a sort of Breamy pattern. So taking my large diameter tube and sticking it in the vise. Now this version that was in the vise, because this is for my box, I'll be tying slightly different because this one's designed to be fished without a wiggle tail. It's a mylar fly, it's about 9 inches long. So what I'll be tying is something a bit shorter, so that I can fish it with a wiggle tail, but it will be essentially the same pattern. So the needle's on the vise with a tube. I'm just going to start on my GSP thread. Get some super glue on there. Wind over it. So, and you can see I've left a couple of centimetres from the back of the tube there to where I'm going to have my tie-in point. So, as usual, pike fly will be starting with a bucktail collar, hollow tied, and then we'll just offer it up and roll it around the tube to get good coverage. Then take a gathering wrap around, wrap to flare it. Just make sure you're all the way around and you can start cinching it down. I'll come in, catch all the long ends going forward, get them with my hair clip as best I can. Put a bit of glue in my thread and just get in here on the spot, and that just adds a wee bit more security and durability to the fly. Come in and trim my butts. You don't need to be super fussy. Something like that. Now, you can use a pen tube, but I've misplaced mine, so I'll just fold it back. Get everything back, pull the thread to the front, oops, pull the thread to the front, and build up a dam. As always, you're not tying over the bucktail, you're tying in front of it. It doesn't matter if you catch 1 or 2 fibres, but overall we're aiming for a sort of tapered cone. Holding that back. And that's not a bad angle, I quite like that, so I'll take my clip, pull my thread out the rod, out the way. Get everything back here. Oops. There we go. As always, wee bit of super glue goes a long way on your pike flies. I mean, you're tying them in tubes for the durability as well, but this really helps. Just wind over that. Take away any excess. Right, so the the body of this is made up of the tail, the flash tail. It's magnum flashabou. And I like a blend of black, copper, and like a flat gold for this. You could use holographic if you like, but I like the flat gold. So I'll just get these colours together. And it's up to you how you mix it. You know, how dark or light do you fancy it being? Obviously, the more black you put in, the darker it is overall. So I just roll these together in my hands, open them up, roll them together, open it up, until you see you've got a nice mix. I might actually add a wee bit more black to that. I'm not using any holographic colours, but as I say, that's your choice. Other patterns I do quite like the holographic colour. So when I've got my bunch, I'll split it in two, equal halves. I don't know, each half's maybe got 40 odd strands. And now I only want this coming back to about this mark on my vise, so I'm going to cut it before I tie it in, then I'll re-taper it. As I say, this is for a wiggle tail, so you don't want it just as long as if it was just a flash fly. Couple of turns, make sure it's sort of spread, fold them back, again make sure they're distributed about 180 degrees. Catch them in some tight thread wraps. And then repeat this on the other side. Shorten it off, taper it. Just the same again, tie it in, about 60-40 split, something like that. Make sure it's nice and evenly spread, and then fold it back. It can look a bit messy, but just take a couple of minutes or a few seconds, fold everything, tie in front, and you can take away your clip, just fold everything back, tie it off nice and securely. can see there, slightly shorter fly, but still plenty of tapered fibres. Come in again with the clip and super glue over your tie. Right, if you just super glue every stage, these flies last forever, you know, like they really do become much more durable than if you're just using the thread. So I'm going to put a few saddle feathers in. These are just a kind of red game. And you can go for some slightly shorter ones than you would on the flash fly as usual. Again, you don't want them coming in and tangling with the wiggle tail. So tie one in on top. And on my side, just check, make sure the lengths of the hackles are slightly different. Now don't worry about the fluff here at the bottom. That's fine, that's all going to be lost anyway when we tie in the collar. Another turn here. And then the last feather on the bottom of the tube, so you've got 4 going all the way around. It's different lengths. And it adds just another slightly different movement. You know, these different materials, they move slightly differently in the water. So you're just all adding more life and more action to the fly. I'll just tie that off. Make sure everything's nice and tidy. Again, super glue. Nice and coated. You don't need to worry about completely covering those wraps, or smoothing out that wrap. As long as it's well tied down, it's fine. And I'll make a dubbing loop, about 8 inches long, something like that. Make sure it's closed off. So this is slightly spinning on my needle. Wax my loop. Now remember, the wax is just acting as a grip at the tying in stage, right? I know some people don't kind of like it, I don't believe in it, but it's very helpful for this procedure. So I've got this my flashy collar, or the fine flash. I'm going to use this Sybai sparkle here, and it's a really nice colour blend. This it's called just dark copper. But it's got a blend of kind of like olivey blue and black in it as well. So it really blends nicely and makes a nice sort of Bream imitation. So got a pretty thick bunch. Got to split that in half. Roughly. I'll take one half, fold it over, cut it in half. That gives me a full length and a shorter length, and I'm just going to taper this as well. We'll lay it on top of the full length bunch, and I'll just open them up, roll them together, open them up, roll them together. And that gives you a nice sort of spread of the thick and the thin fibres. Take my dubbing loop, put these in carefully, right, and then I'll just very gently sort of start to separate these. Then again, just lightly tease it to separate any of the fibres that have become crisscrossed or they're no parallel, because they're the ones that will tangle up later. And when you've got a nice sort of even distribution, get your spinner, give it a spin. What I like to do, I'll spin it and hold the thread as long as I can until it starts to spin. And I'll hold it horizontally and let it take that up. Now, obviously, it wraps up, so you just take your scissors and carefully encourage those strands to keep going round. Right, that'll sort of untangle them. Same again, just hold it. If you do that a couple of times, it should be more than tight enough. You'll feel that a springiness coming into the dubbing loop. Right, but just make sure nothing's tangled or wrapped up, and then just moisten your fingers and double this as best you can. It doesn't need to be perfect, just thereabouts. And I'll just rotate my vise until this is ready to be, until I use up enough of the loop that the flash is going to touch the tube. Take my tying thread out of the way. Do that again. And then I'll wind this carefully, doubling it as I go, folding it back. Creating that nice flashy collar. A couple of wraps of the bare thread, go around my main thread and tie off. Fold back over it, tie it down, and that's never going to come out. So take away my wee hair clip, and I'll just sort of lightly tease it with my fingers. It's very light. This is often more effective than a comb or a needle. And then I'll just take my scissor tip and any looped or trapped strands, if it's too tight just to pull free against the weight of the scissor, it'll just cut it, and that'll stop you getting any tangled or sort of messy curly bits, right? If it's free enough, then it'll pull free. If not, the scissor will just chop it and give you the two ends. So when you're reasonably happy with that, come in, tie over it. So now you've got this sort of gradation of the copper flash, and out that black and gold mix, and there's a wee bit of green and olive there. It's really nice. So at this stage, as usual, a bit more, get the clip in again. A bit more super glue. And I'm going to take some golden brown craft fur. It's also a Sybai product. It's really long in the fibre. It's the only stuff I've ever seen that I would say is better than Rainey's. Although I think Rainey's have got a slightly better colour range. So I'm going to take a considerable bunch. You can see there's quite a clump. I'll grip this about a quarter shown at the bottom. Just take it through the dog brush. Wire brush there just takes out any of the excessive underfur, but still leaves me with quite a few of the sort of mid-length fibres, which are ideal. So another dubbing loop. Across my thread. Clean it off. Set that out of the way. I'm just going to throw a half hitch here as I get towards the end. And then, as before, a bit of wax in the loop. So when your craft fur is ready, you can come in, stick it in there, and then spread it as evenly as possible. See there, it's getting a wee bit tangled, so I'll just take my scissor point and try to realign the fibres so that they're a bit more parallel. Just take your time. Same again, if you feel that something's not quite right, just adjust it. And then when you're ready, get that spun up. So when you get to this stage, as always, you can come in and sort of untangle the worst stuff, so that you can continue to spin it. If you just leave it, you end up with this dense rope that is very difficult to unpick properly after this second spin. We spin it again, tight as we like. This GSP thread's super strong, you can really put quite a lot of tension in. And then I'm just going to come in again with my dog brush. And free as much as I can the trapped fibres. And then it's just a matter of winding this forward like a hackle. Doubling it as you go. One turn in front of the other. Obviously don't wind on top of each other, right? Touching turns, going forward. When you get to the end of the brush, or the loop, cross your thread, fold it back, trim it off. Right, looks a midden, that's fine. I'm just going to throw a half hitch on this here, just for a wee bit of security, just in case. And then just brushing the and that frees up that collar, because you're lovely brownish effect. And you could darken this if you liked. You know, you could add some kind of black. You could mix the two, but I think that's fine as it is. Oops. Then just get a last brush to sort of encourage these various fibres together, and then a bit of super glue. Put it on the tube and on the thread. Try not to get it in the craft fur. Just wind through it a couple of times, hold it tight, snip your thread, and just flatten it in. Eyes, I'm using some gold eyes, 12mm gold eyes, but again, up to you, you could use red or whatever. So, got a good blob of glue on your eye. Stick it, I like it sort of half on that collar, half off. I mean, if anything, 2/3 on the collar. Then I'll flip this over. Same on the other side, I'll make sure they line up. Press them in nice. you go. That's the eyes. The last thing is just to fill the space between the eyes. With some UV resin. Give it a wee minute to level out. There we go. So just you can just make sure that this is in as you like it. You know, you can tease out any, if there's any like fibres that are causing trouble, just remove them. Now when you've got a nice shape, hit it with the lamp. And the last thing, I'm just going to come in with some thin. And I'll let the thin fill in any wee low spots between the eyes and go over the top of the eye. And this just secures the eye very firmly in place. You know, it's impossible for it to fall off if it's trapped under a layer of resin. So I'll just rotate this. Until I start to get a nice, clean, smooth shape. A bit of wet resin on my fingers there. Nice, clean, smooth shape. Take that away. Once you're happy, hit it with the light. And that's it. The fly is done. You can spend as long as you like sorting out the about the resin and what have you. That's it. All it remains to be done is we'll trim off the end of the tube, or you can leave it if you want to make it able to accept a popper, which you can do in the water. So I hope that was useful. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. The materials list will be in the description, along with a link to my Patreon if you fancy supporting the channel. That would be amazing. So thanks for watching, and tight lines guys, bye.